Welcome back to AI Marketing 101. So, for Lecture 9, we are tackling what is arguably the most painful universal problem in all of freelance work. Seriously, our goal today is incredibly specific. We're going to learn exactly how to take those super vague, confusing client DMs and turn them into tightly scoped paid campaigns. And honestly, the best part? We're going to do this without doing a single minute of free work. No way. If you've ever found yourself, 3 weeks deep into a project doing just endless revisions for a client who clearly doesn't know what they want, well, this explainer is absolutely for you. We're zeroing in purely on the intake skill, what actually needs to happen between a client asking for help and you delivering that final polished campaign.
Okay, let's dive into this. Take a look at this message right here. Hey, love your account. Can you help with our marketing? Need more sales, not a huge budget, LOL. Wow. Does this look totally familiar to you? You've got zero punctuation, it's incredibly vague, and it ends with that exasperating LOL. Now, this is a real-world style message from our fictional client today, Solstice Skincare. But let's be totally honest with ourselves. That is the painful reality of how real clients communicate, right? They simply don't brief you like a textbook. That messy, open-ended question right there, that is the entire brief they hand you. And if you start working based off just that text, you are walking straight into a massive trap.
Now, I want you to look at the stark contrast here between a messy, tangled DM on one side and a clean, structured, one-page brief on the other. Getting from point A to point B, it's a massive hurdle. In fact, to put that into perspective, traditional marketing agencies will actually charge anywhere from $500 to $1,500 literally just for the discovery call required to bridge this exact gap. And surprisingly, you know what? Most of them still kind of just wing it. But we are absolutely not going to do that. Today, we're building a rock-solid system that achieves this total transformation in just 20 minutes. And we're going to do the whole shebang without even hopping on a single phone call.
Which brings us to Section 1, the translation rule. It is officially time to stop doing free revisions. Listen, the absolute biggest mistake freelancers make is opening their AI tools before they've actually translated the ask. When a client tells you to just make it pop and you immediately start generating stuff, you're inevitably going to produce the wrong thing and just eat the cost of those unpaid revisions. So I need you to burn this core rule into your memory. You are never briefed. You are always translating. Real clients are never going to hand you perfectly scoped projects on a silver platter, but every single vague ask actually has a real business goal and real constraints hidden inside it. Your first job, pulling that hidden brief out into the open, getting it in writing, and getting the client to say a clear yes to it in plain English. I'm telling you, this is the highest leverage 20 minutes of your entire client relationship.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we actually do that translation. Welcome to Section 2, the brief framework, which is our 5 steps to a locked scope.
This acronym right here is your ultimate weapon to extract clear signals from all that client noise. Let's break it down letter by letter, okay? So B is for business goal. Basically, what number are we actually trying to move? We don't just want more marketing, we want sales or leads or foot traffic. Then we have R for real constraints. What exactly is the budget? What's the hard deadline? And honestly, who actually approves the work? Getting this early stops scope creep totally dead in its tracks. I stands for inputs. So what brand assets do they already own? Past campaigns, banned words, competitor examples. Then E is for exclusions. What is explicitly not included in this project? Guys, this is massive. Stating what you will absolutely not do is literally the only way to ensure you get paid for what you will do. And finally, F is format. What are the exact deliverables? How many posts, what specific platforms, and delivered as what file type?
Because here's the thing, if you skip this framework, you are going to fall straight into 2 deadly scope traps that for sure kill more client relationships than bad work ever does. Trap number 1 is the unlimited revisions trap. If you don't explicitly lock down that format, every single round of feedback just becomes a brand new brief. The immediate scoped solution? Your format line has to list a fixed number of revisions before you even start. Now, trap number 2 is the classic "can you also" trap. Man, this is scope creep disguised as a tiny little favor. But the solution here lives right in your exclusions line. When they ask for a favor, you don't just say no. You say, hey, let's scope that out as an add-on, and then you quote it separately. Simple as that.
All right, it's time to move from theory to practice with Section 3, the practical workflow. We're doing a live build right now with our fictional client, Solstice Skincare. Let's move to and see how this builds when you have a messy client email sitting right in your inbox. You can actually run it through these 4 procedural steps right now. Step 1, we extract the signal from that raw DM using AI. Step 2, we fill out our B.R.I.F framework and explicitly flag any gaps. Step 3, we map those specific deliverables to our toolkit timeline. And step 4, we draft up a client-ready confirmation email. So this is exactly how we use AI to process raw intake and structure a completely locked-in campaign.
So, diving into step 1, we basically just paste that messy DM straight into our AI and ask it to pull out the signals. And the AI, it catches those soft signals perfectly. When the client says not a huge budget, the AI immediately flags that as a constraint, but an undefined one, right? When they mention they tried a few things, well, that strongly implies they have past campaigns, and those are inputs that we need to request. The AI also catches that a deadline is missing entirely, which leads us to a really core rule that you must remember. Half of the brief is filled by the client's own words, absolutely, but the other half, that's filled by your sharp follow-up questions. A brief with intelligent gaps beats a brief with confident guesses every single time. Okay, once we know exactly what we're building, we jump to step 3, mapping those deliverables directly onto our production timeline. Like we covered in our previous lectures, we take our 2-week production block and just map it directly to our toolkit. Day 1, that's dedicated to research and running our brand prompt. Then by day 5, we're generating the actual copy kit and the visuals. Day 9 is all about mapping out that mini calendar and atomizing the content for stories. And finally, by day 14, the entire campaign stack is packaged up and completely ready for delivery. So it's like magic. That super vague DM has now become a rigid, professional, totally actionable checklist.
And finally, we arrive at section 4, the final lock. This is the crucial human pass before you send anything. So the crucial point is that we use AI to turn our completed framework into a friendly confirmation email. But wait, before you hit send, you have to run it through 4 strict criteria, just to protect yourself and your time. First up, is a number named? Just saying more sales doesn't pass. You need an actual hard business goal in writing. Second, are the exclusions visible? Remember, if the client can't clearly point to what is not included, scope creep is literally just one message away. Third, is a hard deadline stated, not just a